You know what they say, those who talk about money are those who don't have it. They're obsessed. I am.
You're with me tonight on this dark highway. We've run it together so many times. We're running for money, we're running for music. We're running to pay for our innocent crimes. I took on my father and I'm still walking. Took on all comers in some shape or form. And I see with the eyes of something wounded. There's something still standing after the storm. Yeah. Hell's won the glory and survival. And staying alive, it's a running man's Bible, yeah. I've been next in line, I've been next to nothing. Been next to bystanders who should have said something. It was not in my vision, it was not in my mind to return from a mission a man left behind. Yeah. Hell's won the glory and survival. Yeah. And staying alive, it's a running man's Bible, yeah. Look out. I don't speak of the times I've nearly died. I don't speak of outlasting those who are gone. All the things I've done I cannot to remember, or the desperate measures that might have been wrong. Honey, here's one to glory, here's to bad weather. And all the hard things we've been through together. Here's to the golden rule and survival. And to staying alive, it's a running man's Bible. Hell's won the glory and survival. And staying alive, it's a running man's Bible, yeah. Well, it's a running man's Bible. It's a running man's Bible.
That's Tom Petty, of course. The temptation is always, you ever notice that? With the Tom Petty song, the temptation is always to turn it off when you feel as if it's going to end. But then what you don't realise is that, what?
Yeah, it's just, to me, it wasn't a great opener. That's all. It was all right. It wasn't
Why do you
great
always say that? Why do you always say that wasn't a great
I
opener?
have a thing about openers.
I know you have, but apart from that, well, what about the music? I mean, why does it concern you so you've got a thing about openers? You feel as if there's certain songs you should not be played at the start of a programme. You see, do you know one of the things that I think is important, and I hate to interrupt you here and I hate to stop you from talking, but I really do want to stop you from talking.
Right.
See, one of the things I think is important is to chase all the listeners away that you don't want.
Well,
You see,
you're succeeding.
I'm doing well on that.
Yes.
You see, the point is there are certain listeners who just kind of, listen to the programme because they listen to the Fat Boy. And there's you don't want some of them because many of them are crazy, as you can tell. See, a record like that scares them away.
He loves you talking about his money.
Doesn't he love it?
Pretending that he doesn't. Does he not know we see through it?
But you see, I don't know what to say to him because he doesn't see it. You see, what he doesn't understand is that I want to be like that.
Listen,
he doesn't understand that. He feels as if he's been persecuted. But what he doesn't understand is that I have no money at all.
Listen, we've had an hour and a half of it.
Can you hear me? I have no money at all.
I want to talk about
and I've been here longer than him.
Please, I want to talk
and he has far more money than me.
There's something that I'm worried about.
Go ahead.
About you.
Oh, yeah?
And I mentioned it this morning to you.
Okay.
Earlier on, but I'm going to bring it up now publicly. I'm going to let the people know.
That's okay. I don't mind
You
because
don't
I'm not
mind, do you?
ashamed. I'm not ashamed of anything.
No.
I'm open. I have a thing about openings. I can talk about anything. I'm not. I have no complex here.
No.
What is it?
I would like you to cut down on your intake of sugar. You've such a sweet tooth when it comes to tea.
See, the listeners may not understand the problem that I have. See, one of the things that you see, you don't see the whole thing. Now, what you're referring to is the fact that sometimes I use 5 spoons of sugar.
Yes, you use the little sachets.
5 little sachets.
Emma says you used 6 the other morning.
I used 6 the other morning. I needed a rush. But you see, what you don't see, you see what you do see.
6 spoonfuls of sugar.
I know. But what you see is me putting 5 or 6 sachets of sugar into the cup. And then you see me stirring it.
I see you drink it.
No, you don't see me drink it.
I see you drink half.
You see me beginning to drink it.
No, you drink half the cup.
No, I don't.
I do because I wash your cup every morning.
So you do.
Yes.
Why do you do that?
Because I can't.
May I hasten to add that you don't just wash my cup, you wash everybody's cup.
Yes.
Because you insist on tidying up.
Yes.
Now, why do you... That's a fault.
No.
See, I throw everything on the floor.
I'll tell you what you do. You come in with your one little bun in your bag.
I have to explain that.
And you sit at the kitchen table and you if you're reading the paper, you leave the paper behind you, or papers behind you.
Yes.
You leave the plastic bag that the bun was in behind you,
Yes.
and you leave half a cup of tea behind you. You just get up and you walk away. Then I come along and I tidy up.
But why do you do that?
Because
There's no
I
need
think
for you to do that.
I do.
No, but you do that because you're obsessed. You should not do that.
And
you should stop tidying up.
people, especially people in our newsroom, they tend to leave all their dirty dishes in the sink. Why do they do that? That annoys me greatly.
Because that's what a sink is for.
No, it's not.
I think
it's
it's
not
for
for.
fun.
It is not
A
for
sink is a
that.
receptacle for putting dirty dishes in.
And if everyone put their dirty dishes and walked away, how can you use the sink? When does the sink get clear of the dirty dishes? Someone has to come along and clean them.
I know that, but as long as it's not me.
Yes,
But you see, why? But I see you doing it, but I don't see anybody else doing it. What would the people do if you didn't do it? See, that's the whole
It would
point.
be an absolute mess.
Can we get back to this program here?
Yes, are you going to cut down on sugar?
No. That song was called Running Man's Bible
Where did you inherit that tooth?
from my mother.
That's exactly what I thought you would say.
I used to watch my mother sprinkling sugar onto the French toast.
Spring cleaning?
Sprinkling toast.
Oh, I thought you said spring cleaning.
Sprinkling toast onto the French. You see, you're making me. Sprinkling sugar onto the French toast. My mother never used a spoon. What she would do, she'd always put her hand in and take out. She was one of the old-fashioned cooks. If you said to her, how much flour goes in that? So, just a bit. Just reach in, just pow.
Yes, they all did that. They were great at that, weren't they? And it worked out perfectly
Absolutely.
well, didn't it?
And these people with their scale and their spoons, you couldn't eat the stuff.
French toast, is that the
French toast.
egg? Is that the egg? Is there
What you do is
remind me of French toast.
you get 2 eggs, maybe perhaps 3, and you stir them all up, and then you get a small piece of white bread,
Yeah.
sliced. Then
Fry it.
No.
No?
You dip it into the liquid, the
Yeah.
egg, and make sure it's properly saturated. then you fry it.
Yeah.
Right? It's very unhealthy.
But then you put sugar in that.
You put sugar on it.
Oh, God.
It is the best thing ever.
No,
It's called French toast.
But not with sugar.
Yes, with sugar. It's no good without sugar. And my mother used to put heap it on. And that's what happened to me. That's why I'm the way I am today. Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, that's from an album called Mojo, and that track was called Running Man's Bible. I've got some things to deal with here. A gentleman... as a
Tom
matter of fact,
Petty does a good song with Johnny Cash, The Running Kind.
Mm-hmm.
You ever played it?
Tom Petty, of course, is appearing in Dublin. I think it's the 17th, is it, of June, or some Thursday around about that. And, you know, if God grants me the power to still be able to walk, I'll be at that.
Did you see a great programme last night on BBC Two? Now, it's unusual that I get programmes on TV.
I watched 6 Degrees last night, that drama, that Northern Ireland drama. It's coming along really well. People should watch that. It's really, really good.
Yeah,
it tackles a lot of issues that we have not tackled for a long, long time in Northern Ireland. Too busy with the troubles, people been shot.
Reading some good reports about it.
It's very good indeed. I've seen every one of the
reviews.
episodes. That's
So
number
brilliant.
4 last night. It's very good. The actors are very good. And the script is excellent.
Well, here, there was a programme on last night, BBC Two.
Yes.
And I was about to turn it off, and I said, I'll give this a moment or two, see what this is about. There's a programme on Wales, the country of Wales, and about the valleys and the glens and the caves and the waterways, and, you know, it was very, very interesting.
The time is now coming up to 11:15. I have an email here from a fella called James Murray. Is there anything more you want to say about Wales, the country?
No, that's... I've asked you umpteen times until I'm blue in the face to take me to Wales.
No.
Show me Wales.
Go yourself. Irish people don't like
I don't
Wales.
want to climb. I don't want to climb rocks. I don't want to do all that. But that man was doing last night and going under, under the ground, looking at, all that stuff, stalactites and stalagmites and all that. And I don't want to do that. I don't like that.
I know you don't want to do
But
that.
I enjoyed him doing it last night.
I enjoyed
But
it.
I'll not watch it again.
No, don't.
No one.
The Irish people, remember, people used to go to Scotland, used to go to England, used to go to everywhere. But Irish people never went to Wales because it's too much like here.
But I'll tell you what, I want to say this about it. It looked absolutely beautiful.
It's just like home. A gentleman writes to me and he says,
Your wee man's on. I thought about you.
Can you not let me read these things?
No, just I heard a trail for a TV program. I said, that's Gerry's wee man.
What wee man is that?
He'll be listening to that. But I found your wee man very hard to understand.
What wee man is that? I'm not with you.
Your wee man, the comedian that you almost went to see in Dublin, but I think it was cancelled.
Jackie Mason?
Jackie Mason.
I like Jackie Mason.
I know, I like Jackie Mason too as well, but Jackie Mason
You
speaking
think that woman's too young for me? What am I, a redwood?
Yeah, but he's speaking so fast now.
He's talking too fast. It's the last tour. It's last tour. Now it's turning again. It's my last tour.
Well, he's on Desert Down Discs. Desert Down Discs. But I don't like Kirsty. I don't like.
I walk into the bedroom, I see my wife with another man. He's my friend. I say, well, you... I walk into the bedroom, I see my friend in bed with my wife. I say, why? He said, no.
Nah.
I walk into the bedroom, I see my wife with another man. I said, I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too fast. I walk into the bedroom and see a wife in the bed with another man. I said, I have to, but you...
No, it's still not right.
Stop.
No.
I catch up with your shows
Desert Island Discs.
I catch up with your shows on the iPlayer, and I must congratulate you on last week's shows. This is for me.
Oh, aye.
Your interview with Terry George and his daughter Urla was very enlightening. I'm fed up complaining about Sean Coyle. Urla.
That's an unusual name, isn't it?
I'm fed up complaining about Sean Coyle, but his comments after your interview were sickening and filled with jealousy.
What was that? What did I say?
They were indeed, yes.
What did
You
I say?
criticised my interview.
I did not.
Yes, you did.
I didn't.
I'm not saying you did. I'm just reading out the stuff that comes in here. I know it's part of the act, but it's hard to listen to. I admire your patience and tolerance. I'm starting to pop, I'm sorry. It's the microphone. It's too close. Go and tell me what to do. Go back a bit.
No.
The guests on Friday's show are great. Every week you introduce me to new talent I would never have heard before if not for your show. Please play anything you like and say hello to all the Murray and Watson families. And here's a little ad for the St. Patrick's Day concert on St. Patrick's Day, which is on Saturday, at the Waterfront Hall. Pianist Michal O'Hularoin and singer Francis Black joined forces with the Ulster Orchestra and guess what? The Red Hot Chili Pipers for a St. Patrick's Day concert broadcast live on BBC Radio Ulster. So you can hear that. Just to be doing all this stuff like a real broadcaster.
Can I ask you this?
What?
No, this is serious.
Go ahead.
Can I ask you this? Why can I not take St. Patrick's Day as celebrations?
Because your mind has been gnarled and twisted by the Troubles. That's what it is. You've been confused. You haven't had a normal upbringing. It's because you're on top of the Roswell
What
flats
about- what
throwing
about
washing
you?
machines. What, me?
What about you?
I
Do you
just-
celebrate? Do you
No,
do
I-
march? Do you? Do you, no, you don't-
I march. Do I march?
But do you go and see the parades? That's what I meant to say.
all.
Well, but you're the same as me.
No, but I don't think about it. You think about it.
I think about
It's a day to avoid drunk people. That's all it is. For a long time, I have listened to you talk to, and play the music of Rodney Crowell. And because of this, I eventually got my hands on his autobiography, Chinaberry Sidewalk. It is everything and more that you said it was. This book should be given to every single person who has the slightest interest in literature. I think you're right, because he's a fine writer. I think I'm going to have to do what your friend Chris Christopherson said he did. That is, read it a second time to see was it really as good as he thought it was the first time, and he found it every bit as good. Thanks also for turning me on to the songs of Guy Clark. I just got the tribute album, and there isn't a bad track on it. Thank you for your continued guidance in all things literary and musical. I'm reading out all the bad stuff about me. Do you notice that?
Yeah. There's a wee call for you.
I know that. I wonder, could I ask you a favour to mention the big book sale and coffee morning at St Anne's Cathedral on St Patrick's Day at 10 a.m. and 12:30, between 10 a.m. and 12:30. We have had an enormous support from people donating books to suit every taste, ideal holiday reading and more. All we need is an enormous number of people to support this fundraising event. We even had books that would suit the most discerning reader, like yourself, as well as some that would appeal to Sean. What a cruel thing to say. I can't countenance this, even though this is the Reverend Campbell Dixon from Belfast Cathedral. We'd be grateful if you could squeeze in this notice. So there we are, St Anne's Cathedral on Saturday morning. If you get fed up dodging drunk people in the street between 10 a.m. and 12:30, go in there to the book sale. There we are. Look at the things I'm doing today. Do you notice I'm different today? I'm at
Yes.
peace with the world. Do you know the way sometimes I'm bitter, gnarled and twisted?
Like yesterday.
Like yesterday and every other day. I'm not like that today. I'm
Janet
happy
was
today.
afraid of you yesterday.
Was she?
Do you know that?
Was she?
Aye.
Why?
She didn't like you
Did
yesterday. No,
She felt something menacing?
She didn't like you at all.
You mean personally or what I was saying?
She said, I don't like him today. She said, is there something wrong with him? She was worried about you yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, she thought maybe you were in pain.
No, I wasn't, no.
Yeah, she thought
No,
so.
I was just...
She was
no.
worried about you.
In what way? Did you feel threatened in any
She
way?
felt threatened. She didn't want to get your music details after the program.
She's afraid to come
She's
in.
afraid to come into the studio to you. And she waited on me. She says, come you in with me.
I'm afraid to go in with him and me own. This is not a great advertisement for my personality. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Mr.
morning.
Anderson.
How are you? No need to be afraid of me. I'm not like the others. It's all right.
It's all right. I would just like to put an appeal out for a wee dog that went missing yesterday morning, if you don't mind.
No, I don't mind at all. It's your own wee dog, is it?
No, it belongs to a friend of ours, and we've been babysitting it since Sunday.
That's the worst thing in the world when you agree to look after a dog and then it goes away. You feel terribly guilty, don't you?
Oh, terrible altogether.
Oh, it's awful.
And we still have her sister. We had two of them. I had her down on the beach at Browns Bay yesterday morning.
Where's Browns Bay?
Island McGee.
McGee?
Island McGee.
Oh, sorry, Island McGee. Oh, yes, sorry, I've never been down there.
Oh, lovely place.
I would say it is. I must go down there sometime. So did the wee dog run away then?
She saw the Cairnryan boat coming in, which comes in just beside us when I had them in the beach, and she took fright at it and took off, and she has been seen 3 or 4 times since that, and she's only 11 months old. She's only a pup, and whether somebody took pity on her and took her home thinking she was lost, which I suppose she was at that time, but it's just if you could put an appeal out, if anybody knows her whereabouts, I'd be very, very grateful.
Okay. Well, you know, that wee dog's got a lot in common with me. Every time I see a boat going to Scotland, I get scared as well, in case I might have to go sometime. I've never liked Scotland.
You keep saying that, and it's unfair.
I've never.
It is unfair.
I've
It's
really-
just because of that skiing resort that put you
No,
off.
it's everything about Scotland. I've never had a good experience in Scotland ever, and I've been there loads of times. I can't stand Scotland. I hate it.
Well, we
hate
can
Scotland.
see
Where
it
have you been? Have you
from
been
the
to... They
left
say Edinburgh is beautiful.
Yes, I've been to Edinburgh.
And what?
Horrible people. And,
don't say that.
I'm telling you,
I've
just
got
horrible
cousins living
people.
in Greenock.
Pardon?
I've cousins in Greenock.
I'm not including them. Horrible people, except the people who are related to you living in Greenock. Is that better?
Yeah.
No, I just hate. I just don't like those people. There's
Your
something
own
about them.
grandfather.
I know. Sure, I'm Anderson. What am I
Yes.
talking about here? Sure, I'm an Ulster Scot. I'd kick with both feet. You know what I mean? Somebody went loose amongst the staff. You know, I don't know what happened. But, you know, I'm a hybrid. You know, and I should not. But I have to say, you see, when I was young, you see, because of my kind of Scottish connections, there used to be a lot of Scottish people who used to come over and used to stay in our house because we, by some fluke, had a big house and stuff. We never owned the house, but for some strange reason, we had a big house and we had lots of rooms, so they all used to stay with us. I couldn't stand them. And then as I grew older, I went to Scotland, I couldn't stand them. And I'm God, get away from these people.
That's a terrible thing
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're saying to me I can't condemn a whole country.
I know.
I'm doing it now.
Were you in Glasgow?
Yes, worse than all. Worse than all.
Glasgow.
I just have nothing in common with those
I've
people.
never been. I mean, the only part of Scotland I've been to is Stranraer. That's it.
That's what's called dipping a toe in.
Yes, it. Yeah, because over the boat, you understand. That's
From Larne, I
Yeah,
suggest.
I've never.
Yeah.
No, but
Well,
they
it's only a personal thing, and I'm not saying that this is not a
Highlands-
thing. I'm not saying that
I want to go to Scotland. I
can-
want to see Edinburgh. I was speaking to people recently who have over there for a couple of days, a short break.
I
So it was
apologise
absolutely
to
beautiful.
I apologise to Scottish people, but I
think
can't
it's
help
terrible.
it. I can't. As soon as
That's
I go
Wales.
to Scotland.
You've condemned Wales this morning.
No, all I said about Wales was nobody goes to Wales because I like Welsh people.
It's a great advert.
No, I
isn't
do
it?
like Welsh people. Nobody goes
You
to
don't
Wales.
know any Welsh people.
I have met Welsh people.
Name-
I've been to Wales on a number of
name
occasions.
3.
Jones,
Come on, name 3.
Davis,
Come on, name
Sammy
3.
Davis Jr.,
Oh, well, that's okay.
Sammy Davis Jr. and Tom Jones. You know what I mean? No, Dylan Thomas.
Right.
What can I say?
So Scotland, don't like Scotland.
I don't like
Wales.
Scotland. I like Wales. All I said about Wales was that Irish people don't like it because it's too much like here. Well, did you ever hear of anybody going to Wales to work? Have you ever heard anyone going to Wales to work?
One person, no, 2.
Two?
2 people.
Sammy Davis Jr. and Tom Jones.
Believe it or not, there were 2 painters.
What about this man's dog here? So tell me about the dog. What kind of a dog is it?
I forgot about the dog.
It's a cross between a King Charles and a poodle.
Well, that would be quite distinctive. What colour is it?
She's jet black.
Oh, well, even more distinctive. And has it got a little collar or anything like
She
that?
has a collar and she's microchipped.
Oh, for God's sake, there's no
Her
reason why...
name is Meg.
Meg? Well, there's no reason why you can't get that dog back. I would say you've got a 90% chance of getting that dog back.
Well, I'm just hoping she's so friendly, and I've been round all the farms. We're in a big farming community down here. I've been round all the farms, and farmers are checking their sheds and one thing and another in case she has taken fear and just hid somewhere, you know. But if anybody would see her, the Animal Pound and the USPCA have all been notified. And as I say, she's microchipped, so if anybody would just take her in somewhere and leave her, I'll not be long getting hold of her, and I'd be very grateful for it.
Okay, that's around the vicinity of Browns Bay.
In the vicinity of Browns Bay or Ferris's Bay.
Okay, I would say there's a fair chance you'll hear something about that dog before 12 o'clock.
Well, that would be super. I'd be very grateful.
I hope so anyway. When we hear anything, we'll let you know right away. The number to ring if you know anything about that wee dog, it's 08459 555 678. Okay, thank you, sir.
That's brilliant. Thank you very much for your
Thank you.
help. Paul. Thanks, now, bye.
Bye. The gentleman was saying that the dog is very friendly. That's always a mistake, you know.
What
sometimes.
sort of dog was it again? Just remind me.
A cross between whatever he said, a poodle and something else. One of the things that I think is important, you know, it's wrong to be too friendly. I always find that about women.
What?
Do you know when women are too friendly? I always misinterpret it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
It's very wrong see when women are very friendly. It's a mistake, isn't it? I always interpret it as weakness.
How does a woman? How does a woman be too friendly?
You see, if a woman comes up to the like of me and is very friendly, I always misinterpret.
What? In what sense?
No, I want to sit
What's
down.
she say?
And
Do you
talk,
want a polo? Do you want a polo mint, Gerry? Just or what? What does she say to
What do
you?
you think I'm a horse?
But what does she say to you?
No, people who are overly friendly. It's always a
You want a
mistake.
fag?
All I'm saying that dogs are overly friendly, go up to the wrong people and are friendly with them. Sometimes I'm the wrong person to be friendly with if you're women.
I don't know. But I don't know what. Does Chris is on too, by the way, before the news. But how do they be over friendly? That's all I want to know.
People can't be
A
over
total
friendly.
stranger comes up to you.
Yeah,
You're Gerry Anderson.
smile
aren't
at you know,
Aye.
and they give you a big hug and all.
Do you want a cream finger? What do they do? What do they say to you?
Do people come up and offer you a cream
Yeah,
finger?
but what do these girls say to you?
They say how lovely I am, and they say they love my eyes, and they love my voice, and they want to be with me. And I say, catch yourself on, get a cream finger. Hello, good morning.
Hello there, how are you, Gerry?
I'm sorry you had to hear that. I hear you're a bit frightened.
No.
That scared you a bit, didn't it? Sorry, what can we do for you today? We just helped that man with his dog. Have you anything that you need help with?
I have. I'm organising a fun run in the Stormont Estate on St Patrick's Day.
Yes.
The 5K fun run is going to be themed. Everyone has to turn up in green to run around the Stormont Estate.
Yes.
And it's to raise awareness of COPD.
What is that?
It's chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. It's like a lung disease.
Yes.
It's the 6th largest killer in the UK and Ireland.
Oh, well, how does that? I've never heard of that. Tell us a bit more about that. How does it? Well, what are the symptoms? Obviously, lung
the
disease.
symptoms are you'd be short of breath.
Yeah.
Find it hard to breathe. It's usually caused by smoking.
Oh.
Yeah. There was a guy told me about it. He says it's like this here. If you imagine a tree with all nice healthy leaves on it. And he was saying his tree has got no leaves on it anymore. So that's sort of how he sees it.
Yeah, you lose the elasticity in your lungs and that kind of thing.
Exactly, the ability to take in the air and the oxygen.
My father died of that.
Oh, right, okay. Sorry to hear that, sorry.
No, he had trouble with his lungs. He had that miner's disease. Terrible thing.
Well, my own father, he was a Dungallamon, Vinnie Donna. He had it as well, and that's the reason he died last year there.
Oh dear. So tell me about this. Tell me about this run. We don't have a lot of time now. Tell me.
Well, basically, if people turn up at the Pavilion Complex in the Stormont Estate at 10 o'clock,
yes,
they can register. It's £10. That'll go to the chest, heart, and stroke crowd. And the fun run itself is at 11:30.
How long is the run? Would it be 5 kilometres, something like that, or maybe?
It's 5 kilometres.
Oh,
so they can do that in 20, 30 minutes, and then they can hit the pub or whatever they're at. So.
Well, they will hit the pub, I'm sure, being St Patrick's Day.
Exactly. So just everybody turn up in green. You can turn up yourself there, Gerry, if you want.
No, it's okay. I'll be in bed. I'll be in bed all day, avoiding the drugs.
You only wear cream linen anyway, don't you?
I do not. That's a lie.
I've never seen.
That's a myth. Anyway, listen. 10 o'clock, Stormont. Where is it again? Quick.
It's the Pavilion Complex in Stormont.
Thank you. See you later.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
On 92 to 95 FM
and 1341 medium wave.
This is BBC Radio Ulster.
And at the BBC News Desk at 11 o'clock, I'm Jenny Lowry. There's been another increase in the number of people claiming benefits in Northern Ireland, but the official rate of unemployment has fallen slightly. Our business reporter Sabrina Sweeney has the details.
The Labour Force Survey is the method government uses to measure the number of people out of work. The new rate for Northern Ireland is 6.5%, a fall of 0.4% on the previous quarter and below the UK average. If we look at the number of people claiming job seekers allowance, or the claimant count, it rose slightly by 0.3% to 61,400. At a rate of 6.9%, that's almost 2% higher than the UK average and is the second highest of the 12 UK regions. The number of people not officially seeking work here also rose by a percentage point, meaning Northern Ireland continues to have the highest rate of economic inactivity in the UK.
The police have reopened their investigation into the murder of a teenager whose body was found in a shallow grave outside Ballykelly almost 13 years ago. 18-year-old Jonathan Cairns was returning home from a night out in the village when he was attacked. His body was found in Lochermore Forest near his home. One man was jailed for helping dispose of Jonathan's body, but no one has been convicted of his murder. Almost 80,000 tickets have been snapped up to tour the world's largest Titanic attraction when it opens in Belfast at the end of the month. Operators of the £90 million Titanic Belfast say they're delighted with the interest the centre has generated. They've also revealed that their banqueting suite has already had almost 200 bookings, representing £1 million of business. And a minor earthquake was felt in parts of North Donegal last night. The British Geological Survey said the 1.1 magnitude quake occurred at around 9:30, 7 kilometres south of Buncrana. The town experienced a previous tremor with a magnitude of 2.2 in January. Well, sport now, and Grant Cameron's with me.
Ireland's cricketers have bounced back from the first day defeat by Namibia at the ICC World 2020 qualifier in Dubai with a 10-wicket victory over Kenya. Captain William Porterfield hit an unbeaten 56. John Terry says he has great respect for the way the former England manager Fabio Capello supported him when he was stripped of the team's captaincy. It was a matter which eventually led to the Italian's resignation. Liverpool keeper Pepe Reina has hailed captain Steven Gerrard as an inspiration following his performance against Everton. Gerrard's hat-trick was the first in a Merseyside derby at Anfield for 77 years. And the Queen Mother Champion Chase is the feature race on day 2 at Cheltenham.
And now with details of the weather forecast, here's Barra Best.
It's a mainly dry day and cloudy, although it will be bright with just a little breeze. Little in the way of sunshine, unfortunately, as the cloud is quite stubborn to break. Any sunnier spells will be most likely confined to the southeast over parts of Armagh and Down. Temperatures generally will climb to 11 or 12 degrees. Staying dry this evening and overnight, cloud will linger around with lows of 6 degrees.
BBC News.
BBC Radio Ulster. Travel News.
A security alert is ongoing near Kilkeel in County Down. The area around Ballinran Road has been cordoned off. Elsewhere and in Belfast, Grosvenor Road is reduced to one lane at Durham Street because of roadworks. This is causing delays for traffic heading out of the city centre. And looking ahead to tonight, the Ravenhill Road will be closed for resurfacing between Ormeau Embankment and Albert Bridge Road. That's from 9 o'clock until 6 tomorrow morning. Diversions will be in place via Albert Bridge, East Bridge Street and Cromick Street. Elaine Sutherland reporting.
Travel News on BBC Radio Ulster.
On Talkback with Wendy Austin today, prep schools under pressure, another one bites the dust. Do you care? Are they just for posh parents? What about choice though? And what about the pressure on the state sector where they all to close? We want your calls on that. Sinn Féin moving its special advisor on convicted murderer Mary McArdle from her high profile job. Has the whole thing been a PR disaster for the party? Also today, the end for Encyclopaedia Britannica. Did you sell it? Could you not manage without it? We'll have to use Wikipedia instead. Is it good enough? And Scotland the Brave. Ace political correspondent Brian Taylor on why they'll definitely have a poll and how it'll affect us. Talk back at 12.
Thank you, Wendy. Gentleman earlier on talking about... why do I keep saying Sidney Crowell? Rodney Crowell. So I thought I'd play something by him, but I did... and the thing didn't work. Hold on a second. These are one of these things that happen every now and again. It's the equipment, it's faulty. I'll try that again. It's still not working. I'll try that again. How professional is that? I got it in the end, though. I never give up. I'm tenacious.
I've been up all night the night before. My teeth are dirty, my eyes are sore. There was a good time had by all accounts. We were drinking to you in tall amounts. I guess we had a little trouble in the hotel bar. Some hometown bub went a little too far. He said he don't like Catholics, he don't like Jews. He don't like me and he don't like you. Say you love me, say you need me, say you want me, don't disappoint me. Say it, say it, say it, say it. I've got 10 good years left in my legs. Someday baby won't have to beg. Oh, the first thing to go is not your mind. You've known that for a long, long time. You got the Irish eyes and the raven hair. From your head down to your underwear. Poetry is the language of choice. Whenever I'm within the sound of your voice. Say you love me, say you need me, say you want me, don't disappoint me. Say it, say it, say it, say it. Speak your mind, darling. State your case, baby. Lay it on the line, sugar. Cut to the chase, maybe. Say it in your own words. Don't be proud. If it's something that you want to get heard, you gotta say it to me right out loud. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. Say it. You know you want me. Say it. You know you need me. Say it. You know you love me. Say it.
That's a fantastic record from Rodney Crowell. That's called Say You Love Me, from an album called The Outsider. And this is one of the finest records ever made. I play this every now and again for the benefit of people who are depressed. It's by Lady Smith Black Mambazo, with the best singer who ever trod this earth, Phoebe Snow. People get ready. That sounds better, Lady Blacksmith Mambazo. That sounds even better.
I like that.
Yeah.
There's a train a-comin'. You don't need no baggage. You just get on board. All you need is faith to hear the diesels humming. Don't need no ticket. You just thank the Lord. A train to Jordan, taking a passenger from coast to coast. Faith is the key, open the doors on board them. Pass home for home among the lost. People get ready. 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 There ain't no room for the hopeless sinner who would hurt all mankind just to save his own. Have pity on those whose choices grow thinner, 'cause there's no hiding place from the kingdom's throne. Just thank the Lord. People got ready. People get yourself ready. Can you get ready? Can you get ready? Oh, yeah.
Oh, best singer in the whole world, that's Phoebe Snow and Ladysmith Black Mambazo. People get ready. That would nearly drive you to church.
I thought Nina Simone was the favorite.
And Nina Simone and Ray Charles, one of the finest singers in the world. Three. That is the top three. Ray Charles, Nina Simone, and I have to say, if I was to pick, I'd have to pick Phoebe Snow. I would have to, because nobody sings like that. Nobody.
The song before that.
If it drive you to church, nearly.
the song before that.
The song before that. What was that?
I don't know.
I can't remember what it was. It seems so long ago. What was it?
Come on.
Rodney Crowell. It was called, yes, it was great.
Right, that's an opener.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, I opened the second half of the programme.
Yeah, but but you see, that's not a... You don't have openers for your second half.
Really. Stop. What are you, some kind of military commander? Speaking of which, a gentleman writes to me...
Your screen's been tapped.
I hear it. Stop that, for God's sake. You think I am some... Anyway, I want to talk about this first. We talked yesterday about phrases that, you know the way people miss the troubles?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
Nothing. Where else would you get...
Do you know the way we miss the troubles, the people, the things used to say?
We don't miss the troubles.
No, we don't miss the troubles. We miss the things that people used to say during the troubles. Remember talking about yesterday, did anybody ever trigger the DeHunt mechanism?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people don't say that anymore. I'm going to trigger the DeHunt mechanism. Imagine people used to sit here and talk about that, and never imagining that some man might be sitting from America or somewhere saying to himself, what are these people talking about? There are certain words that we miss. Now, for instance, John Hume used to say, 2 roasted balls of snow.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He never says 2 roasted balls of snow anymore. And he used to say, spill our sweat, not our blood. He used to say that. We don't hear that anymore. Ian Paisley used to always talk about falsehoods. Didn't he?
I don't know.
He never spoke about lies. He always talked about falsehoods.
Yeah, right.
And all unionists, but now it's just Jim Allister, they used to talk about unreconstructed terrorists. You don't hear that anymore. Sinn Féin IRA, you hear that. Edge of the abyss. David Irvine used to always talk about the late David Irvine. I like David Irvine.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys I liked, to be honest with you. You know when you meet all the politicians and you know you don't like any of them. But I liked David Irvine. I really did. As I mentioned before, I won't say that. Who always talked about barge poles?
John
Taylor.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Martin McGuinness, securocrats.
See.
You see, you miss all these words. Securocrats. No guns, no government, body politic. Who always used to say that?
No. Don't know.
Seamus Mallon.
Oh, did he?
Yes. You don't know anything. And other words that we never hear, the following. Choreography. That's all gone. Remember people used to talk about the choreography of talks?
No.
They did.
I've never heard that one.
It's about the choreography.
No. Do you ever hear it?
It's about the choreography.
Do you ever hear it?
You weren't listening half the time. Soft landing.
No.
People just talk about a soft landing. A difficult decision to be made. You know, you get ready for it to be a soft landing.
Not really.
For a difficult decision.
No.
Decommissioning, we know about that one.
Right.
Coffee jar bomb. When was the last time you heard somebody talking about a coffee jar bomb?
Yeah.
GOC. General Officer in Command. You don't hear of that. OC. Brigade Volunteer. Round party talks. You don't hear about that. Plenary. Interment. Diplock. These words that we miss. Bring them all back, I say. Is there someone on the line?
Yes.
Interlocutor. That was always my favourite.
Yeah.
I know it was. I'm
No,
aware we had that yesterday. What was an interlocutor?
Was it someone who went in between? And
Go between.
Yeah.
An interlocutor. Why didn't he just say go between?
Yeah.
See, that's what was wrong.
So Henry Kissinger was the first interlocutor.
But he didn't know he was.
No, that's right. He was just the... What was he?
He was a bagman.
No, he had something. He had a... What was he?
He was a bomber.
No, what... God forgive you.
No, he did. He bombed Cambodia for no reason.
No, what did he... What was he? He had a name. He had a title.
An interlocutor.
No, it was never... It wasn't... No, before interlocutor.
Peace missionary.
No, it was something. Henry Kissinger was something.
What was he?
What's the man telling you? What was he?
Was he an emissary?
Ah!
Sorry.
No good.
Just making suggestions. Sorry. Janet's scared of me. Hey, Janet, are you watching me? Ah! Ah! Where is the person I'm supposed to be talking to?
On one.
Ah! A big scary. I can't wait for Halloween. Ooh! Janet, were you really scared of me?
She was. She was afraid.
Let her speak for herself. I wanted to say yes or no. No, she said no. You made that up.
I did not.
You made that up. Janet, he made it up. She's saying yes, you made that up. You told me that Janet was scared of me.
She was.
It hurt me, you know.
At 10 minutes to 12 yesterday, she says, I'm afraid of him this morning.
She says no. She says you made that up. Look at her.
All right, then. She
Anna,
says
Janet,
no.
I want you to speak. I want you to say.
All right.
I'm going to ask you a question. Is he a liar? I want you to say yes or no.
You have to speak.
Once you have to speak.
Yes.
Yeah, you're a liar.
Janet
You're a liar.
spoke.
She's turned. I knew I'd get around her in the end. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Gerry.
I'm sorry you had to listen to that. I have to say that to all the people who come on the phone.
Yes.
Anyway, that's okay. What can we do for you today, if
Gerry,
anything?
I'm sorry to hear your problems with Scotland and Scottish people. I'm Belfast born and bred, educated Dublin, and then spent 30 years in Scotland, which I thoroughly enjoyed. I worked with one of the big insurance giants. 6 years I was in Stirling, 6 years I was in Dundee, and then I was 18 in Perth. And during my time in Perth, I played drums with the Perth and District Pipe Band and sang with one of the big Scottish dance bands and had a thoroughly good time.
Well, you sound like a man who was a successful person who adjusted to Scotland in a good way.
I did indeed. All three of my children were born in Scotland. Now I've since gone. Two of them are in the United States, the other one's in London.
Well, you see, it is possible to be happy in Scotland.
Oh, yes.
But I find it difficult for me.
Yeah.
But you see, I'm only one person, and what do I care? What do I matter?
Yeah. I usually visit Scotland about twice every year on a holiday. I think a lot depends. I say you said yourself, your difficulty maybe was people coming across and occupying your house, and maybe putting you out of your bed.
It was the way they did it. It was the way they did it. They didn't seem to care.
That's it.
Do you know the way? There's people have certain characteristics. Scottish people tend to be, in my opinion, Scottish people tend to be kind of gruff. You know, they tend to be a bit gruff. You know,
I would describe them as dour.
Dour and gruff. Yeah,
and maybe another word, but I say once you get to know them, they're kind-hearted people. People very, very much like ourselves.
And people, you know, yeah, probably, yeah. But you know, people have certain characteristics. For instance, you know, sometimes when people say to me, are Irish people the same as everybody else? And I say, well, no, not really. They're different from Scottish people. They're different from English people.
Yeah.
Now, somebody might say to me, well, how are Irish people different from English people? And I always use the same example. If you're walking along the street in London or somewhere like that, right? And, you know, maybe you're just walking along the street and maybe on a Sunday afternoon, and maybe there's a man and a woman, husband and wife out with their kids, and walking along the pavement. You know, and they're kind of, you know, maybe a little bike or something, you know, that kind of thing. You know, kids out, maybe 3 or 4 kids walking around, and they're keeping an eye on them. And you're walking along, you know, behind them, and you look as if, you know, you want to go through. What happens here is the mother or father say, come on, girls, let that man pass. Come on now, let that man pass. In England, they don't do that.
I know.
They just stand there as if, you know, these are my kids. Don't mess with me.
I find it so difficult. Here in Northern Ireland and in Scotland, people will talk to you in trains, talk to you in buses.
Yeah.
If you attempt to speak to somebody in a tube train in London,
they'll pull the emergency.
Yes,
they'll pull the emergency brake.
So
yeah.
you're two horns, you know.
Yeah. Do you know this? You know when you really notice it? I really notice it sometimes, especially on holidays and stuff like that. You know, if you go to somewhere with a lot of English people, you just go up to an English person and say, "Listen, have you any idea what time it is?" They just look at you as if, you know, they go, what? I said, have you any idea what time it is? And they just go crazy. Like they just kind of back away from you, you know. Anyway, it's a lack of common communication. That's what it is. And we might become like that in another few years, you know. You know. I see Dublin's changing. Dublin's getting very different. Dublin used to be a place you could sit and talk to anybody, and it's not like that anymore. But then again, you see, the mistake that people in the south made was that they made a lot of money, and it went to their head. They have to adjust back down to it.
Sorry for interrupting you, but you know what I can't help but notice the lack of the Scottish accent in Trevor. He said he was there for 30 years. 30 years.
That's right, Sean.
And you know, I know. I'm saying this, Trevor. I know that if I went to Scotland for any length of time at all, I'm talking about a short time, say a week in Scotland, I'm sure I would come back rolling my arse or something. I know.
I've seen you roll your arse often.
What often happens is you maybe still retain your own accent, as I've done for years, but you're inclined to pick up Scottish expressions more or less to make yourself understood.
Yes.
But it's also very easy for a person from Northern Ireland not to change their accent in Scotland because the accent is so similar.
That's
you see, and people in Scotland understand every word you say. And the only reason you change your accent is when you realise that people don't understand you. I mean, if you go to somewhere like London, you have to change the way you speak because they don't understand what you're saying. But in Scotland, they know every single word you're saying, so you don't have to change.
But the only time that Trevor sounded a wee bit Scottish was when you said Stirling.
Stirling.
You said Stirling.
Stirling.
Do you realise that, Trevor?
Aye.
You said Sterling. I was in
all right.
Sterling. That's the
Stop
only
picking
time.
on him.
I'm not. I'm
I'm picking on him.
amazed at that. I'm amazed.
Most of the people in Scotland, they'll not say they're from Stirling. They say Stirling.
Sterling. You said Sterling.
That's right.
And are you back home now, sir? Are you?
Oh, I've been back since 1993. I'm back.
Oh, good. Well, do you regret coming back, or would you rather be in Scotland?
Mixed.
But you came back.
ideas.
You came back at a good time. The troubles
Yeah.
were ending. That kind of thing.
Troubles were ending. Well, things have
Well, yeah, I
improved
know.
to a degree. And
Well, good. You have mixed feelings about it.
Unfortunately, since I come back, I lost my wife with cancer 7 years ago.
Oh,
And as I say, the children all over the place. 2 of them in the States and 1 of them in London. You know.
Oh well. Well, it's good to talk to you anyway. And
nice to talk to you, Jerry.
do you want to say hello to anyone or anything?
No,
that's okay. You go
grand.
ahead.
Yeah.
Nice to talk to you.
Lovely to talk to you. Bye, Gerry.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
There's another call for you.
What a nice man. I like
nice
him.
man. Nice man.
And where is this other call, I wonder?
It's on 2.
Hello, good morning.
Come on, Gerry, are you talking to...
Yes, indeed, yes.
This is Pearl here.
I'm sorry, I didn't know your name. Go ahead, love, go ahead.
Pearl?
Yes.
I've spoken to you before.
Uh-huh.
I've told you before, I'm an Isle of Butte.
Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
Thank you, Sean.
Yes.
Did you ring her? Did you? Tell her what I was saying. I'm sorry. Of course, when I say I don't like Scotland, I do not include the Islanders.
Right. Well, I wanted to tell you, I was listening to Sean giving great praise to Greenock.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad mouthing it, as a lot of people do. They think it's just a slum area.
Uh-huh.
But I live exactly across the water from Greenock.
Yes.
My ferry, if I go with the one we go into is called Grimsby. It's 20 minutes down the road to Greenock. If it's stormy, we go to Greenock or Gourock.
Right. Okay.
And Greenock's a great town with great architecture from the old days of the Clyde, you know, with the big boats that used to go up.
Yes.
They had Tate and Lyle. There's still buildings with Tate and Lyle, the sugar people.
Mm-hmm.
And glue factories and all things that they took carcasses to. It was an awful smell at one part of the town.
That's where the horses.
Actual
That's where the
buildings
horses. Yeah.
are something to be seen from the well-off millionaires, you know, the boats where the bananas and all that sort of thing used to come in. It's a town worth seeing. You would find it hard to believe. Lovely architecture in it.
From the days of empire.
From the days of the empire, that's right.
Well, I could, I'm obviously, I shouldn't
I thought there was
generalise.
a wee bit anti-Scot in your voice.
Oh no, I don't
there.
mean to be. It's just that
So
I've had nothing but bad experiences in Scotland.
It's the manner in which you speak sometimes, you know.
I know.
But we had Kieran Goss. I phoned you after that. Just coming up a year this month. Kieran Goss was touring Scotland all the way down from up in Oban, right down.
Yes.
Oban's was my birthplace.
Yes.
And it's in the west coast down. But anyway, he hired a bike and spent a few days here after his concert.
Yes.
And there's the sun out too. It's just lovely.
Is it direct sunshine?
It's direct sunshine through a mist. There's a mist. There'll be a bit of rain behind it again.
I don't know if anybody noticed this or not, but on the weather forecast the other day, I think it was Angie, she talked about the slight possibility of direct sunshine.
Well, this is direct sunshine.
But do you ever wonder what direct sunshine is? No. Direct sunshine when the sun comes out.
But the ground, I hear all this about how Regent coming up, the farmers in England are going to put up the prices because tatties and everything's going to be awful scarce and root vegetables. Our lot can't get the early tatties in because the fields are that wet.
The early tatties.
The early tatties have grown all around about me here. Anyway, I look in the left down the Clyde.
Okay.
Right? And I looked over the hills. This is from where I'm sitting at my living room window. I'm 82 just in 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm in a bad way now with one of these hips that's breaking up that's in the news at the moment, and a lot of pain with it. So I can't get out as much as I wanted. Anyway, over to my right is the Arran Hills.
Yeah.
ARRAN. And I'm out, they call it the Sleeping Warrior.
Yeah, the Isle of Arran.
The Isle of Arran.
Yeah.
Just across the water to the right of me as the crow flies.
Yeah.
So I look onto that as I get up in the mornings, and it's a pleasure to open my blind, and if it's nice, or if there's snow in it, or whatever. And so, any time, if it's good enough for Kieran Goss, and it's good enough for Dickie Attenborough, who's at home for years and years at the other end of the island, at the north end.
Yes.
And it's worth seeing. So long as
you can see all that. You can see that from your window.
I can't see where Dickie is at the north end. But it's only 15 miles long, the island.
I know, yeah.
And Prince Charles is the Duke of Rossi.
Yeah, you see.
Yeah. Now, the other thing I'll just remind you of, I'd spoken to you before about my son being down Antarctica with Greenpeace. I don't want to get into it much because time's getting short.
Yes, okay.
Correct? And you were always going to send an address or phone me to say where to send some stuff to you.
Yes. Well,
not sadly, but you've lost the chance because he was home a fortnight ago.
Yeah, well, that's
and
Sean's...
he's away off now. He's going to do a year. He'd been 2 years in Philippines after 3 years in Afghanistan because he's a project manager with International Red Cross.
Yeah. Well, that's Sean's department. He's in charge of sending out all the things to people.
Aye.
That's
well,
not my,
anyway, you told me before that you would get back to me.
I know.
Anyway, he took all this stuff. I was looking it all out, and he's away with an awful lot of his things, with
all right.
His things where he was down in Antarctica with Greenpeace and such like. So I'm getting old and done for it, so he's got it away with him. So you've missed the chance, all that.
I know, well, that's Sean's fault. I'm sorry.
Anyway,
he does
I
not
haven't
fulfill
heard them shouting for you for a long while now, for the Rainbow Warrior.
Yeah, listen, now, it's lovely to talk to you.
Yep.
Okay.
But I just wanted you to know, Greenock, tell Sean, it's quite right, Greenock is a nice place.
It's a lovely place.
Righty-ho.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye, bye. Greenock's a lovely place,
Yes,
Sean.
I know that, yeah.
I just thought I'd let you know that.
Righty-ho. A lot of times as I heard that.
A little acoustic song for you.
Time for a little rock and roll.
Because of the color of the skin. Run, but you can't hide. And I bought out a tooth for a tooth, both for me and I'll set you free. Rap on, brother, rap on. Place to live is on an Indian reservation.
I was crossing the snowfields in front of the Capitol building. It was Christmas, and I was alone. Strange city, strangers for friends, and I was broke. As the carillons sang its song, I dreamt of success. I would be the best. I would make my folks proud. I would be happy. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. Yes, there are nods in my direction. Clap of hands, a knowing smile. But still, I'm scared again. Foot slipped. Pebbles fall, and so did I. Almost. I'm high. On Yosemite. The big gray wall. Fear of falling. Where to put my foot next? Failure. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall. Be at one with the mountain. I whispered in the air. Fear of falling. Fear of failure. Fear of losing my hair. Falling. When is the mountain scaled? When do I feel I haven't failed? I've got to get it together, man. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. People come up and say hello. Okay. I can get to the front of the line, but you have to ignore the looks. And yet, I'm waiting for that feeling of contentment, that ease at night when you put your head down and the rhythm's slow to sleep. My head sways and eyes start awake. I'm there, not halfway between sleep and death, but looking into eyes wide open, trying to remember what I might have done, should have done. At my age, I need serenity. I need peace. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened yet. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened.
That's William Shatner, and that's a track called It Hasn't Happened Yet from an album called Has Been, which was the best thing he ever did. Probably the only good thing he ever did is called Has Been, and it was arranged and produced by Ben Folds. You should get that if you're interested in that. And that's a track called, as I say, It Hasn't Happened Yet. What did I play before that? I played something before that. I can't remember what it was.
Do you know, there's a wee bit of a party going on in here.
Excuse me?
We're all eating here.
Oh, excuse me?
What is it, beef olive?
What are we eating here?
The Undertones just brought in beef olive, and it is absolutely delicious.
Well, it's remarkable for his absence in here.
Oh.
Obviously, in his little tour of the building,
He made that.
to give people things to eat, he's left me out.
He bought it. Oh,
no, you didn't. He bought it.
It's beautiful.
Well, I'll just continue to pig out there, and maybe perhaps you'll leave a little for me at the end of the programme, because after all, I'm human too.
Oh, it's lovely. It really is. You love it.
Here's a message for you, Sean. You sound such a nice, thoughtful man. You also show respect for callers and don't like women being made little of. I wanted to tell you I'm married 34 years and my husband has never washed dishes nor loaded the dishwasher. He has never made a meal. His biggest feat was to make a bit of toast and a cup of tea. Completely refuses to tidy up at all. That's obviously a dig at me. May I just say this to you? That when I say that I do not tidy up in here, it's not that I do not tidy up at home.
Oh, I know that.
I cook and everything.
I know you do.
But I can't understand why I should wash dishes for people in the newsroom. You know?
No, you should wash your own dish.
No, but
wash your own. You're adding to the problem.
Gerry, you may be skint, but look at the experiences. Look at the stories you tell. They can't be bottled, can't be bought. Keep on rambling. Don't worry about the fat boy living with all his money on Fantasy Island. Yes, I worry about him, in case he may not leave me any money when he dies, which he will soon. Could you please say good luck to 20-year-old jockey Declan Lavery from Ballynoe, Downpatrick, who goes in search of his first Cheltenham winner today when he rides Moscow Malin. That whole Cheltenham thing just passes over the top of my head, you know. It really does. Are you interested in Cheltenham?
Not really, no. And
just
I don't.
Passes over the top of my head.
I don't understand this.
I don't understand this reverence for it.
No.
From all the Ballynoe area and Downpatrick, and of course, it's something I know nothing about, so I'm not going to knock it. Brian Hamilton is the trainer. Jonathan Flangen is the owner. He's a great wee jockey. Well, good luck to him. And Gerry, Sean, could you ask Gerry? There's a person asking you or yourself. Have you ever heard of the Notting Hillbillies? Mark Knopfler's first group. No, that wasn't Mark Knopfler's first group. Well, maybe it was. But I went to see Mark Knopfler and the Notting Hillbillies in Ronnie Scott's Jazz Club about 1999, I think it was. And he appeared there. Very lucky to get in. Oh, it was jammed. But it was fantastic. So maybe it was. I don't think it was his first group. I think his first group was Dire Straits. I think he formed the Notting Hillbillies when he got fed up with Dire Straits and just wanted to play with guys in a club.
Do you want us to Google?
No.
All right.
It'll take too long. Thank Jesus you're on, Gerry. Any sick bag, Willie? I want to hear started out with nothing and still got most of it left. This is from the Central Bar in Cookstown, and you're still barred. Gerry, Rapparees are headlining Fila and Farah, Bank Square, Belfast on Sunday night. Yeah, we heard about that last Friday on the return from concert in France on Saturday. Rapparees were on this programme. They're very, very good. So there we are at St. Patrick's Day on Sunday night in Bank Square. Your support has been invaluable in their success. Keep up, Gerry. It's a cross between a King Charles and a poodle, talking about the man's dog that was lost in Browns Bay. Gerry, I've got friends here who live in Scotland. They're coming to stay in April. Better not tell them about your programme. Morning. Could you please give some info on the concert with Francis Black and the Red Chili Pipers? Well, it's on St. Patrick's Day. It's a BBC concert on the Waterfront Hall, so I don't know what the crack is about tickets. Can you find out about that, Sean? When you're finished stuffing your face with stuff the Undertone gives you?
I know what I need now, a toothpick.
Do you?
You wouldn't have one on you.
Oh, no, I don't have one on me. What about this fist
That's
here?
That's a thing you never see.
I see them all the time. They're everywhere, toothpicks. You should go to restaurants. They give you one after the meal. Will you find out if there are tickets available? Janet, you're doing nothing. Janet, can you find out if there are any tickets available for the St. Patrick's Day concert at the Waterfront Hall?
Well, how would you find out?
By ringing the BBC. We're in it. We're part of it. Ring the people who are giving out the tickets.
But who would you ring?
BBC Concert Services.
Would you ring the ticket department?
No, ring Belfast.
Janet wants to know, have you a number?
Have I a number?
Yeah.
What am I, some kind of operator? Listen, this is the BBC.
Yeah.
Ring the switchboard in the BBC in Belfast and tell them to put you through to the person who's in charge of the tickets to Waterfront Hall. For God's sake, this is the same business, the same outfit. This is the BBC. What's wrong with you people?
Put you through to the ticket unit?
Yes.
Well, why don't we just cut the man in the reception out?
Because you don't seem to know there is a ticket unit. You just said there now there's a ticket unit.
Yeah.
You didn't know there was a ticket unit earlier on.
I know there's a ticket unit.
Well, ring the ticket unit.
Well, have you a number?
Jesus.
Have you the number?
Do I have a number? Yeah. Ring reception in Belfast and ask them to put you through to the ticket unit.
Don't want to bother the people at the reception.
Bother them, they're doing nothing.
They're busy.
Well, you're not. So why don't you make them busier than you? Featuring pianist Micheál O'Holohan, his name is Michael O'Sullivan, and Francis Black with the Ulster Orchestra and the Red Chili Peppers. Broadcast live on BBC Radio Ulster at I don't know when. It's on it's on St. Patrick's Day. What am I talking about?
St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, sorry. We're talking about the St. Patrick's Day concert. You were wondering.
Have you found out yet?
Janice almost finished with Facebook. She'll do it when she's finished.
When she's finished Facebook?
Yeah.
All right then. Please play something from my very talented Uncle Joby Fox. Either his latest single, I Love You, or the track Belfast by Energy Orchard, the band he used to be in. There we are. I like Joby Fox. Maybe perhaps Joby would contact me because I meant to contact him and I never did. Aren't I a terrible person? Right. Hold on a second. I'm just looking at some stuff here.
What concert? Concert is Francis Black, I think. This is Francis Black and the
No, it's not Francis. It is Francis Black and Michael Sullivan and the Red Hot Chili Pipers. This St. Patrick's Day in the Waterfront Hotel, whatever you call it, the Waterfront thing. on St. Patrick's Day. Do you need any more information, such as how to spell concert?
It's an answering machine she's talking to.
Oh, that sounds like the BBC, all right, yeah. Well, don't bother me with this. I've got a joke here. We're getting some troubles humour now. No, we've missed before. Wee Sammy says to wee Jackie, I got a job as a TA in the UVF. What's a TA, says wee Jackie? Intelligence officer.
That's an old one.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. What's the troubles humour coming back?
Yeah.
Intelligence officer, TA.
Yeah.
And since Gerry Adams moved down south, is he a distant Republican? Do you get that? Give it. I did there. Distant.
I got it.
Just checking.
It's 11:45.
To be fair, Gerry, if you walked up to most people on holiday wearing just a pair of Speedos, I'm not surprised they'd back away from you. That's an insult directed at me. I can handle it. Gerry, probably the most eager-awaited gig is happening tonight in the Spring and Air Break in Belfast by a band called the Jayhawks. They're on the Spring and Air Break tonight. Great band. Can you play anything by them for all the people who'll be going to it? It will help us get through our day until tonight. Huge band. Very, very good indeed. No, I don't have anything by the Jayhawks. I have to say, I don't. It's my mother's birthday on today, the 14th of March, says Caroline Gallagher, and she listens to this programme every morning. She has me hooked on the programme. You guys are the best thing on the airways, except for Sean. I added that bit. I'd be very grateful if you could just wish Loma Evans in Cookston see how we say Cookston?
No, I don't know how true this is, but I've just received
Can you let me finish this request here for a woman whose birthday? It's my mother's birthday today, the 14th. She listens every morning. Please wish Loma Evans in Cookston a very happy birthday. That's from Caroline, her daughter. Yes. You may speak now.
I've just received a text message saying, no tickets left, don't bother. So we don't know if this is true or not. Now,
well, who's the text message from?
Deborah's checking.
Okay. It takes an awful long time. Listen, could you stop Seamus Heaney writing to me? Could you please? Look, he's written another poem.
All right, let's see
I have to read them. Yeah. If it's anybody else, you wouldn't bother. Anyway, I'll have to read this. The tangled tendrils of memory hang from my brain like gossamer cobwebs on an autumnal morning. They invade my thought process like Krapp's last tape. They demand to be heard through the medium of speech. My Uncle Barney, coming home both hands laden with slimy, twisting intestines after being gored by Brady's bull. I put manners into that boy, he said, as he slumped surreptitiously behind the faded floral sofa. My Aunt Molly, coming home from Loch Derg, ravenous as a hungry pike, full of the Holy Spirit and hard toast. It's a great place, said she. A body never feels closer to God. I met a small farmer from Tyrone with his own tractor. Something may come of it yet. God is good, especially to those who starve themselves in his holy name. The hypnotic whir of my mother's spinning wheel. The gurgling, splashing music of the music milk churn. The tick-tock of the grandfather's clock.
It's a very poor clock.
Keep out of it. Those are the sounds I grew up with. Not the hip, hip, rap, rap, yo, bro of today, obscene boom, boom of a ghetto blaster. The sights and sound of my youth made me the man I am today. I had time to think, marinate my thoughts in kiln-fired pots, and produce a conglomeration of abstract thoughts so rich, so diverse, a configuration of sound which will astound the bent-backed bogmen in Crossmaglen. I spin the coin. Now here comes verse, the scattered bones of Jimmy Jones lie bleaching in the sun, a bullet smashed in his head. Aye, a bullet from a gun, beware of the dog, the cat, the hog, the donkey in the shed. Have no fear of Shep, the sheepdog. You can pat him on the head. There, boy, there, boy. Nettles grow in terraced row, behind the old turf stack, where rusty tin cans and old bedpans imagination lack. Toulouse-Lautrec, very small by heck, a comical, stunted little man. The little fool had to use a tool to view the French cannot pick up that pot and take it to the Queen. Fill it first with fresh green scallions, the finest we've ever seen. The captain's on the bridge tonight. The sails...
It's very good. I'm enjoying this now. No, it's good.
The captain's on the bridge tonight. The sails go flippity-flap. You can always tell the captain because it's written on his cap. It was 50 below, said Uncle Joe, the coldest night I've seen. I've lost something I can't replace that night to the foul black gangrene. Reverse your thrusters, Captain Kirk. Your coloured Gansey, space-age jerk. The Klingons boarded after dawn. The Klingons always will cling on. Smoke is rising from the Vatican. Oh, hear the heavenly host. A new pope has been ushered in, or someone's burnt the toast. Everard, hold hard, hold hard. Sweep that filthy floor. Look at the muck in here. Someone shut that door. There you are. That's what we're waiting for. Culture to feed the ill-bred vulture, sitting as the man says with the face on him like a plate of mortal sins. Seamus Heaney, says the Sultan of Brunei. I've lost the last page. Your blood is worth bottling. Needless to say, I was offered many camels and goats, but refused on the grounds of decency. Well, once again, old Father Time has caught up with us, so until the next time, let a smile be your umbrella, and keep the prongs of your harrow sharp.
Excellent.
Keep her lit until we get out.
I went to a garden party to reminisce with my old friends. A chance to share old memories and play our songs again. When I got to the garden party, they all knew my name. No one recognized me. I didn't look the same, but it's alright now. I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. People came from miles around, everyone was there. Yoko brought her walrus, there was magic in the air. And over in the corner, much to my surprise, Mr. Hughes hidden in shoes, wearing his disguise. But it's alright now, I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La-da-da, la-da-da-da.
Played them all the old songs, thought that's why they came. No one heard the music, we didn't look the same.
I said hello to Mary Lou, she belongs to me. When I sang a song about a honky-tonk, it was time to leave.
But it's alright now, I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La-da-da, la-da-da-da, la-da-da-da. Someone opened up a closet door, and out stepped Johnny B. Good, playing guitar like ringing a bell, and looking like he should. If you gotta play at garden parties, I wish you a lot of luck. But if memories were all I sang, I'd rather drive a truck. But it's alright now, I learned my lesson well. See, you can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself. La-da-da, la-da-da-da, la-da-da-da. But it's alright now, I learned my lesson well. See, you Can't please everyone, so you got to please yourself.
That's a great song, an old song by Ricky Nelson, sung there by John Fogerty with Don Henley and Timothy B. Smith, who are boys, as they say, out of the Eagles. I'm going to play another track by Rodney Crowell. This is a great track. I want to play it all, so I'm going to play it now. So we'll leave you with this. This is called Shelter from the Storm. There are no tickets whatsoever left for the concert in the Waterfoot on St. Patrick's Night, so forget about it. I'm sorry about that. And I'm sorry I mentioned it.
'Twas in another lifetime, one of toil and blood, when blackness was a virtue and the road was full of mud. I came in from the wilderness, a creature void of form. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. And if I pass this way again, you can rest assured I'll always do my best for her. On that I give my word. In a world of still-eyed death and men who are fighting to stay warm, come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
Not a word was spoke between us. There was little risk involved. Had been left unresolved. Try imagining a place where it is always safe and warm. Come in and I will give you shelter from the storm. You were burned out from exhaustion, buried in the hay, poison in the bushes, blown out on the trail. In the court, come in and I will give you shelter from the storm.
That's Emmylou Harris.
Suddenly I turned around and she was standing there with silver bracelets on her wrists and flowers in her hair. She walked up to me gracefully, took my crown of thorns. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
Now there's a wall between us. Something has been lost. I took too much for granted and got my signals crossed. Just to think it all began on some long forgotten morn. Come in, I said, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
Well, the deputy walks on hard nails, the preacher rides a mount, but nothing really matters much. It's doom alone that counts. The one-eyed undertaker blows his futile horn. Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. I've heard newborn babies wailing like a mourning dove, and old men with their broken teeth stranded without love. Do I understand your question, man? It's hopeless and forlorn. Come in, she says, I'll give you shelter from the storm.
In a little hilltop village, they gamble for your clothes. You bargain for salvation, and they give you a lethal dose. You offer up your innocence and get repaid with scorn. Come in, I will give
country, but I'm bound to cross the line. A beauty who walks a razor's edge, someday I'll make it mine. If I could only turn back the hands of time to when you and God were born, I know that I could give you shelter from the storm. Come in and I will give you shelter from the storm.